Hello, welcome to Mind class. Today we're going to go through a flow theme. So it's going to feel yoga-esque in flow, but it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be polished. It's just going to be you working on your flexibility, your balance, and some mobility today. So we are going to be doing some standing holds. We'll be doing some work on the floor as well to stretch out, but we're going to be kind of flowing through some work today. So very common movements and poses that we've done in the past, nothing too new. We've done this routine before. The two new moves that I believe are new would be angel and diver. The challenge with them is going to be that you're on your toes. So angel is you're reaching, arms stretched out wide, chin to the ceiling. And then diver, you stay on your toes and you fold forward and hold. Those are the only two really newer things, in my opinion, that maybe you haven't done before or it's been a really long time. But everything else is very basic things that we've done in the past. So I'm going to go ahead and start the timer. We'll warm up. Starting on our mat, we are going to be standing, and I'll take you through the flow, okay? So if you'd like to play your own music, it really is helpful. I have a little bit something quiet in the background. This can be replayed anytime that you'd like your class to do again and again and again if you love it, okay? Or if you feel like you need it. Let's go ahead and we're gonna go ahead and start with our feet just about hip width. Toes can turn out a little bit on this one, okay? We're gonna start sinking on down into a squat, okay? I'm gonna start hands on the thighs. We're going to get a little bit deeper. This is going to be a deep squat. So if you'd like to take your fingertips down towards the floor, come down almost like a frog squat, open up your toes and your knees a little bit more. You can shift your body weight if you can get your hands to the ground. If you can't get down that low, that's fine. Maybe stay here with your elbows and your thighs. Maybe stay here. But I'd like you to try to make your way down. If you need to come up out of it, and then come back down again into a deep squat. Again, I'm going to kind of shift side to side. My heels do come off the floor. That means that I just can't, that I'm sort of tight. I have an imbalance. So that's okay if your heels come up a little bit. This is what we're working on, is trying to get our body right. Go ahead and roll it on up to the top. Let's take a lunge to the right. We're going to go ahead and work our feet so they're perpendicular. You get a little deeper in your stretch. Take your elbow to your thigh. You can reach up and over if you'd like. That was naturally what I wanted to do here. So you naturally want to reach up and over, go for it. So right now we're going to hold this. When we go through the flow, we'll do a little bit of an arm circle. So let's go ahead and turn the other direction. Elbow on the thigh, support yourself, and reach. If you would like to heel toe out your back foot, make it a little bit deeper of a stretch, you can. The front knee is bent, feet are perpendicular, back leg is straight. Feels amazing. We're doing side lunges to start. And then release out of that. Heel toe on in or walk it on in. And let's take our right leg forward, our left knee to the ground. We're going to come forward into a lunge, almost like a crescent lunge here on our knee. You'd like to come to tall and then reach forward, release, come to neutral and reach forward, or just hold. Let's go ahead and switch legs. If you need to keep your hands on your thigh, keep your hands on your thigh. You don't have to reach up and out of it. If you're struggling for balance today, just work on opening up your hip flexor and keep your hands on your thighs. If you've got your balance with you, core tight, shoulders out of the ears, and reach up to the ceiling. That should feel amazing. Your hip flexors here. I was a little bit tight after we lifted yesterday, so this feels good. You can feel it right away in my glutes and my quads. My quad was pulling on my hip flexor there, so go ahead and release. Coming to a down dog, so spread your fingertips wide and tabletop. Roll your toes under, our hands are shoulder width, our feet are hip width. Down dog, tailbone to the sky, belly button drawn in. Pull your heels to the floor. Are they going to meet the floor? I don't know yet. But the goal is just to pull your heels around the pads of your feet. And you're getting a nice big stretch to the back of your leg. Come to plank. Lower your knees to the ground and let's come into an up dog position. If you'd like to take your thighs off the floor, you can. You'll be on the tops of your feet in an up dog position. So shoulders are out of the ears, palms are pushing in the ground. Your chin is lifted, your torso is open. Coming back to tabletop position, let's take our right leg forward. We're going to open and then thread through. So a little spinal movement here, open and thread through. You are on a knee this time. I'll have you lift the knee after the warm-up, but let's start with our both knees on the ground unless you'd like to pull your back knee up. We're going to open, reach, open and reach. Remember, there's something on your small, short coffee table over there that you're reaching for. And then let's switch sides. Tabletop, and then twist open, reach right underneath between your arm and your hip. Reach through. Flowing at your own pace here. Coming back to all fours, lower yourself down to your stomach. We're going to come into a cobra. So on a cobra, we're going to keep our torso, like our hips on the ground. We're going to lift our chest, and we're going to lift and push our right arm away and elevate our right shoulder and twist just a little bit in cobra here. Squeeze your glutes. You're going to need to do that to lift yourself up. And then lower down, let's switch sides. So again, hands right underneath the shoulders, and we're just going to lift now our left shoulder a little bit higher and twist just a little bit, okay? Hips stay on the ground. They don't need to come up. My left hip is up, but it's only because I've lifted myself up that high. If you need to come out of it and do it again, that's fine. Reset. Then lower yourself on down, come to tabletop, curl your toes under, to down dog, walk your feet to your hands or your hands to your feet, and we're gonna get ready to flow a little bit through everything we just did. Roll it on up to the top. First, actually, we're gonna breathe flow first, so that just means we're going to breathe. Exhale, dive down, half lift, roll to the top. That's all we're gonna do. So this is your pace. Fill your lungs and then exhale. So our pacing might be different because our lung capacity might be different, and that's okay. And then we roll to the top. So just breathing here. We're gonna do everything we just did and roll to the top. We're gonna go through everything twice today, okay? About 15 more seconds of just breathing. This feels really good. My hamstrings are starting to open up on each forward fold. We're going to step out to the right, feet perpendicular, back into our side warrior here. Let's go ahead and circle our arm. Open your chest as you circle through. Working on shoulder mobility here. We're going in just one direction. If you'd like to change directions, you can. I'm just going forward. And then let's sweep the other side. Same thing. I'm coming forward with my arm and circling back around. If you'd like, again, to change the directions, that's up to you. But this is more of a natural swing, headed in the direction where our head is pointed. We did our side lunges. We're going to head to our forward lunges in a high lunge. So heel toe on in or walk it on in. Right leg forward, left leg back. High lunge, a little lower and lift. Lower and lift. If you'd like, take your hands to prayer, your heart center, or your hips for balance. And we're just taking a little dip. Body's starting to feel warm now too. Hold up top, switch legs. Get nice and wide like you're on railroad tracks. Forward your stance. And then you can come lower and rise. Choose where your hands would like to be. And step your feet together. We're going to dive down. Walk your hands out to down dog. Walk your feet back to down dog. Hold your down dog. When you're ready, come to plank and up dog. Then when you're ready, pike up your hips back to down dog. Come to plank. Then dip your belly. Lift your chin. Support your spine by squeezing your glutes, keeping your core tight. I don't want you just to sag. You've got to have some muscle control here. So use some muscle control from down dog to up dog. And if you'd like to hold down dog a little bit longer, hold down dog a little bit longer. And if you'd like to hold your cobra or your up dog a little bit longer, hold your up dog a little bit longer. You need to put your knees or thighs on the ground during up dog, go ahead. Push to down dog, and let's take our right leg forward, and let's open up twisted low lunge. Let's do the thread through, that felt really nice. So open, thread through, open, thread through. Go ahead and step to plank, switch legs. Just your open low lunge. Thread through when you're ready. If you're ready, this helps me feeling my glutes open up, which got really tight yesterday. Hips. I feel like we just did mind class. I feel like we were just here, so I guess the week went by fast. The mind classes are available to you anytime. You just go to history in your YouTube website, under channel, whatever you go to channel, history, and then let's come on down to a cobra pose, and we're going to lift the right. You can flow, lower and lift, or you can hold. Anyways, if you go to your history and you've done this class, it'll show up there. All right, and then when you're ready, go to the other side. And if you'd like to, you can alternate side to side. Okay. You may also come neutral or center if you'd like. How about that? You choose. Doesn't have to be anything very high, just a matter of tilting just a little bit, okay? Go ahead and come to all fours, curl your toes under down dog. Walk your hands to your feet or your feet to your hands. Roll up to the top and let's flow through everything we just did. Inhale up. Forward fold. Half lift. Roll to the top and do that one more time. Inhale up. Forward fold. Half lift. Roll to the top and take your right leg. Big step out. Circle through. Let's circle through 3 times. Then sweep to the other side. Yes, you are going to have to do a little bit of work here, getting yourself up and over. Step to the center of the mat. High lunge right leg. Let's lift and lower. I'm going to do a little bit of arm work here. prayer to high lunge, make it fancy. One more time. Switch legs. Left center of your mat, inhale. Forward fold. Half lift. Hands come down to the mat. Let's step to down dog. Right your fingertips wide, push your palms into the floor. When you're ready, come to plank, up dog, back to down dog, elbow lifting high, back to plank, lower your stomach, lift your chin, shoulders out of your ears, back to down dog, forward to plank, lift, up dog, back to down dog. Take a low lunge with your right leg, twist it open, hold. We're going to hold this time. Hand comes to the mat, step back into plank, switch, and let's do the other side. Just hold. Hands come down to the floor and plank. Push back to a child's pose. I'm going to add in a child's pose here. And then we're going to push forward into cobra. From here, push to child's. And let's come into cobra. Lifted on our right side. Neutral center. Lift on other side. Neutral center. Lift. Other side, neutral center, lift, and then back to center, push to child's pose, hold here for about 15 seconds. Don't worry about that ding, somebody's texting me. But we're flowing, our stream is working, so I know it's not this. That's the important part. All right, curl your come under to tabletop, curl your toes under to down dog, step yourself center. We're going to go through, oops, I forgot to set my watch today. I set it now. I'm going to put it on yoga. We're going to go through some standing series here, okay? So, let's cut right into it. We're going to come into a chair squat, so feet about hip width. You're going to come up to your toes or the balls of your feet, lift your heels. So we're in a tiptoe chair squat, does that make sense? I want you to spread your toes wide like fingers, okay? And hold your balance there on your toes. Chest is lifted, rise up. Turn out your foot as we come into a star pose. You can flex and flatten this back foot. And your star pose is just as high as you can make it today, balancing. Wobbling a little bit too. There's your ankle stability right there coming into play. Reaching your arms out wide, chest open. Go ahead and lower your foot down. We're going to take one leg up, holding it underneath your thigh, flexing, flattening out your foot, and working on balance here. Keeping your core tight. So, standing up with tall, good posture. Flatten, flex your foot. Called dorsiflexion. Shoulders back. So we don't want to be caved in and soft. We want to be real tall and solid. Okay? Stay there for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This leg that was up, place it on the ground. Go ahead and come into a aeroplane, like a warrior 3. Arms are going to come out to a T. Point your toe in the back, hips face the ground. Again, you're going to wobble just a little bit, and that's okay. There's your stability and balance coming into play. Push your big toe into the ground. Utilize that big toe of yours. Hands are going to come to the floor. So a standing split here. We call this a 3-point balance. If you can, walk your feet closer to your hands and move your chest closer to your knee and maybe lift your leg up a little bit higher, it becomes a standing split. So you can challenge yourself, stretch your hamstrings in a standing split. We've got 8 more seconds left here, and we'll repeat everything we just did. feet on the ground, coming back to our chair squat, and raising our heels off the floor so we end up in a tiptoe chair squat. Spread your toes wide. Okay, fan out your toes, grip the mat with your toes and the ball of your feet. Keep your chest lifted, your butt's back. Try to get proud with your shoulders, get them out of your ears. Rise up, turn out your foot. We start the other direction. So soft bend in this leg, flatten out, flex this foot, open your chest, and if you fall out of it, come back to it. I'd like you to work on your own balance, even if you're just here. Ooh, there was a hip pop. But if you need to grab onto a piece of furniture, you feel like you're unsafe, then please do. But I'd like you to try to keep your core tight and balance yourself, okay? Switching legs, holding underneath your thigh, flex flat out your foot, and stand tall. Little change up from what we just did in the flow, huh? All of a sudden we have work to do, and I'm sweating, holding my balance. These are all great things to be working on. Our body isn't just about the vanity aspect and building the big muscles. Obviously we want to be strong, but so much of what we do, let's switch legs for our airplane. Make sure that our body's functioning well. We want balance, we want stability in our lives, right? We don't want to be falling all over or like jello. Point your toe, I just caught myself. We want to be able to catch ourselves if unfortunate spills happen, right? A fall or a trip. Go ahead and take your hands to the ground like a 3-point balance, and then start walking your hands to your foot and your chest to your knee. Try to lift your back leg in a standing split. This is so challenging. I said I was going to work on this, and I still haven't. I wanted to get better at it. I want to be that person that can like hug their calf and be that flexible. I'm going to have to keep working on it. Maybe that'll be the goal for the second half of the year, or the last couple of months of this year. All right, coming back to stand. This is where angel comes into play. So feet just underneath your hips, up to the balls of your feet. Reach your arms up like a Y. Show me your palms, little jazz fingers, and then chin to the ceiling when you're ready. Arch back just a little bit through your torso. Push your big toe into the floor. My feet want to roll out. We're here for 3, 2, 1. Now stay with your heels up. Fold forward, dive down. You fold yourself in half and then hold. It's just like a morning glory, except your heels are up. That's the hardest part, is to be in a diver. You're an Olympic diver now, a diver position. Those divers are incredible. They do 3 rotations by the time they go past the first platform. It's amazing. I spent a lot of time watching the Olympics last year. All right, we're coming up out of there. Release. Holy calves. We're going to make our way down to the mat. So go ahead and inhale up. Forward fold. Half lift. Come down to tabletop and then come all the way down to 90-90. One leg in front, one leg in back, and fold forward. Oh goodness. Very tight. That's it, fold forward, that's all we're doing right now. Nothing fancy, this is where we start stretching back out again. So we did our warm up, we went through the flow in which we worked a lot on our mobility and movement through the body, and now, and then we went through balance and stability, now we're back to flexibility. We're gonna come into mermaid next, so your front hand from this knee comes behind you, you lift your hips to the ceiling and arch back. So we're warm, we've balanced, and now we're stretching again. If you'd like to flow through it, you can come down and lift again, but we're only here for 4 more seconds. That's not going to do you very good. All right, and then swing your back leg forward. Let's do a stretch. If you need to straighten out this bent leg at all, you can. Otherwise, let's hamstring stretch forward. We're going to do all these stretches again on the other side. So I know I've talked about this before, Go ahead and go 90-90. I'm sorry, stay here. I'm off just a smidge. What did I do? Oh, we can hold this for 45 seconds. That's why. Okay. It's like, why is the clock not move on me? Stay here, stay here. I know this class is hard to slow down for, but it's so important. I wanted to say. Now 90-90. So your other leg is forward, your other leg is back, and let's fold. And it doesn't matter which day of the week you put it, just put it somewhere, okay? So if you're like, I'm actually not ready to stretch and do this kind of work until Friday, and save it for Friday, or maybe you want to save it for the weekend. Maybe this is your Sunday class. That's fine, save it for that day, just make sure you do it. If you need the accountability, tell me I'm gonna do it on Sunday, hold me to it, and I'll make sure you do it, okay? Go ahead and take your hand behind you, lift your hips into mermaid, arch back, tuck your tailbone under. This is as close to a back bend as we're gonna get. Knees on the ground, shins on the ground. Hopefully those are not peeling up away from you at all. Release down, flip this leg forward. We have 45 seconds to stretch this hamstring. Everything else was about 30, some things were a minute today, but most everything was 30 seconds. So when I say 45 seconds to stretch this hamstring, that means it's important. That we have really tight hamstrings. Are you feeling that? And that we need to stop and stretch it. And they're giving us a little extra time on the clock to do it. As far as I'm going today, I'm definitely gonna have to work on this hamstring flexibility. Maybe when I'm sitting, the times that I do get to sit and watch TV, maybe I should be sitting and doing this. All right, come onto all fours in a child's pose. I've been playing a lot of solitaire lately when I've been sitting, so maybe instead of solitaire, I should be working on my hamstrings. Flexibility. Go ahead and walk your fingertips out, take your feet, your tailbone towards your feet. You can lower your chin, your forehead, I can talk today, forehead to the floor. Walk your fingertips out ahead of you, big, big stretch. Just breathing in child's pose. We're gonna head into a down dog, so come to all fours, curl your toes under, spread your fingertips wide, push your palms into the floor, push the pads of your fingers into the floor. Lift your heels, but pull them towards the ground. Tailbone is lifted, your head's somewhere between your biceps, your shoulders are out of your ears. Down dog is one of my favorite positions. All right, then walk your feet towards your hands in a nice wide straddle. And then we're just gonna lift our chin above our heart. Hands come flat if you can to the ground. And we're just taking a wide straddle fold. We are here for 45 seconds. This is the last thing we're doing today. And again, if it's 45 seconds, it means that it's pretty important. We should be working really hard on this stretch. So if you can, think about taking your chest towards the floor, elongating your tailbone, getting a little deeper in your hamstring stretch. I'm feeling this in my inner thighs, all the way to my inner calves as well, so clearly I have some tightness there. Not going to be mad about tightness in my inner thighs. I'm always working on trying to increase that strength as well. I gotta make sure that I'm loose too, that these muscles aren't tightening up too much, because when you have too tight of muscles, what happens? Our injuries start happening. So let's make sure we get a nice big stretch here. Roll to the top. Curve your spine, head, neck, shoulders come up last. Heel toe on in. That was my class, you guys. Thanks so much for coming and making that a priority in your day or your week. So have a good one. This is available to you anytime. I'll see you back here tomorrow, 9 o'clock. It's our first day of school for my children. So I think 9 o'clock, our timing should be good unless something catastrophic happens with the buses, but we should be good. And so keep me in your thoughts as and the rest of the kids in the area in your thoughts as we start school tomorrow. And tomorrow will be Warrior Rhythm. So about 45 minutes of class. We've done this routine once before. I don't expect you to know it yet. We'll go over pieces and parts of it, but A lot of it is pretty straightforward. It's a pretty straightforward routine, which I like. So we'll do that tomorrow, and I'll see you then. Bye, guys.